Dude, right before the Dodgers scored the other day, NPR, my wife listens to that shit, and
NPR, please
NPR.
donate.
Morning becomes eclectic.
If you enjoy this show, Fresh Air with Terry Gross.
Yeah, there's always those pauses. Now, Joe, when you first started doing stand-up.
You know what I think of? I've discussed this before, but it's kind of important. You know what I think of when I think of those people? Do you know who that guy John Gomeshi is?
I like NPR, but it's just so
too.
easily to be made fun of.
It's easy to drive off the road into a fucking tree when you're listening to it, too. You're just
Oh, yeah, no, there's a lot of...
droning on. But
Yeah,
that
real low
style
energy.
of talk, which nobody does, that really super sensitive left-wing style of talk, the guy that was...
you do that really well.
The main guy that did that was this guy, Jean Gomeshi, who was on CBC in Canada. And it turned out he liked to beat the fuck out of girls when he was having sex with them. He would punch them in the face and club them in the head, and it was crazy shit. And one girl came out... Yeah, and he would do it without asking them. It was like,
That's a strong move.
It's
That's
crazy.
a strong move in the rack.
Well, I mean, who knows
Should
who's
I
telling
ask?
the truth, because he was kind of acquitted of a lot of it. It was very difficult to find
But
evidence
does he have
on
the
him.
money to get acquitted, you know?
Well, that's true. That's a good point. But he was fired, and there was a gang of girls that came out and said he used to beat them up.
Oh, wait.
Remember that?
The guy who does the interviews.
Yes, he
That
talks
guy.
like this.
Thank you for the question. I think first of all, I'm just probably not unlike you and a lot of people listening. I'm just really into creations and creative minds and the product of creative minds. So music is my passion. I love literature. I love watching people dance. I love graffiti. So art just occupies a place of energy for me.
Bill Burr, so tell me, Bill, how did
He
you get
bugged
into
me
stand-up?
one time when, I'm not saying all those, I don't know what the fuck he does in his personal life, but Russell Peters was on there, and he just goes like, he's like, Russell, you have 9 cars. And Russell's like, yeah. And he goes, why? And it just fucking like making him feel bad because he's doing well. He's, and then Russell had to fucking basically justify it and come up with money, and now I can have it, and I'm sorry. I fucking made it.
Wow.
And I like cars.
Wow.
Yeah, so
he's a twat.
No, I'm not saying he's a twat. It's just
I'm
saying
saying
just right there.
Well, even if
Right there, that bugged me. I hate when people fucking do stuff like
he
that.
had to hit somebody. If you get like 8 or 9 chicks, they're saying you beat the fuck out of them while you're having sex
Yeah.
with them. Even if you
What
get
is-
off,
what is-
somebody got cracked.
What is your number? That innocent until guilty, or how many accusations?
Bill Cosby, I gave in around 30.
30?
I heard the first couple, but we had heard that, right?
I
Hadn't
tapped
you heard
out around 7.
Yeah.
No, I there was rumors of his infidelity, but
Yes.
I never heard of...
The drugging? You never heard that?
No.
I did. I heard that. I had heard that. It was like a rumor. It was a rumor that he would drug women. It was a rumor a long time ago. There was a court case that is part of this case from, I believe it was like 2005, and that was one of the reasons why they weren't allowed to admit that evidence, because the judge had made a decision that if he paid this woman off, then it couldn't be admissible in a future trial. But it was all verbal. They didn't get anything on paper. So once they found out that they didn't get this on paper, they're like, well, we're going to admit this. And then the woman came out, and then he sued the woman that he gave the money to for drugging her. And the whole thing is very, very sordid. But with Bill Cosby, I think it's up to like 50 or something crazy.
Yeah.
So you got to wonder, out of those 50, there's probably like 12 that are just crazy. Like, he drugged me too.
Yeah.
You know,
But the fact... But the fact that he'd still be over 30 is
insane.
just nuts.
I think
it
he
was one when all that shit came out about Trump, right? He did this, he did that, blah blah blah. It was all pretty pedestrian, sort of like, oh, he grabbed my boob and then took me in the back, just really generic, sort of like, it's become sort of the cliched story. And then this one woman, so I'm sitting there going like, all right, the Clintons are fucking filthy. Who knows if they paid these people? Who knows what the fuck's going on? It's right before just when this is coming out. And so I was going, all right, we'll see. And then finally this woman came on, and she goes, so he made advancements at me, and she goes, I just pushed him away and said, get real, which is the perfect thing to say, because you're in your 20s, he's like fucking 106. It's like, yeah,
Right.
you serious? So she goes, I said, get real. And then she said, he thrusted his genitals towards me and said, get real.
Yeah.
And she said that, and the way she imitated him, I was in the car with my wife, I said, he fucking did that one. He did that one. There's no fucking way. That is just too specific. Like, I got the creeps of, like, get real. So
I wonder what the logistics are, or the legality is, rather, of the audio tape. Like, if you don't know you're being recorded, like, you know you're being recorded for a show, you're wearing a microphone, but you don't know you're being recorded while you're on a bus, and you're talking about grabbing them by the pussy and all that.
He was talking, to me,
talking trash.
He's talking shit.
Yeah, like Joey Diaz would say something like that, and I would be fucking crying, laughing, and he would be egging it up. He would ramp it up. He would make it way exaggerated because he knows it's funny.
He's going for the laugh.
Yeah. If you're sitting next to Trump and he's like, I just grabbed him by the pussy, you'd be fucking crying, laughing.
That's why
it was just you
Billy
two.
Bush, I defended him on my podcast. Like I'm not saying the guy's a great guy, but to fire a fucking guy because of a fucking 20-second clip from 11 years ago.
What's he supposed to do?
He's interviewing the guy, and what you're supposed to do is keep the interviewer happy.
Yes.
The interviewee happy. So if he's, hey, grab him by the pussy. Hey, grab him by the pussy. Yeah.
But he's not even saying anything bad. Billy Bush didn't say anything bad. He just didn't admonish him.
This guy at work said, well, when he said to the woman, go over and give him a hug, he became part of the sexual assault. And I was just like, what there was no sexual assault. What they were saying, if he actually did it, was... But the whole thing was just like this. Just, you know, I understand women getting flipping out about it. As far as obviously, just the whole, it would be them. But what they don't know is the way guys talk when they're not there.
Yes.
And I'm going to sit, dude, the fucking shit that we've said.
And we say it for fun. Yeah. We don't say it because we really want to go grab someone by the pussy and pick them up like a bowling ball. Yeah. We say it because it's funny.
It's funny, and you're talking.
And it's completely ridiculous and inappropriate.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, like Joey Diaz is a perfect example.
I will say, if you do have $1 billion, what I'm learning through Cosby and all these fucking guys is evidently you can do that. And he did say that. He's going like, you get famous enough, you can just walk up and grab him by the pussy. And that was just so absurd to me. I'm like, you can do that? You can't do that.
Well, he's got so much money. You got to think when you get
I don't think that guy could get you $6,000 in cash if he gave him 5 weeks.
But I don't think that's correct. I think he's leveraged out quite a bit, but I'm pretty sure he'd go to the ATM and get $6,000. But I know you're exaggerating too.
$6,000's a funny number.
It's a funny number. It is funny. Right.
I'm just saying, like, dude, there's like liquid rich, and your assets are paid off, and then there's, I got this, and I'm going to take a loan against this, and then I'm going to do that and get some investors here, and then I'm going to stick my fucking name on it to build my brand. There's that way where you're sort of like steroiding up your value, but at the end of the day, it's like, all right, but how much can you get me right fucking now? Like, I don't get that whole, like, well, all my shit's tied up. Right. And I got other guys, you know, I'm working with.
Let me see the zeros. What's in your bank account? Show me your phone.
Yeah. Yes. That helicopter with your name on the back, is that paid off? Is that a sticker? Is that a sticker that they take off and then they put fucking Mark Cuban on the back?
But if you're a woman showing up at his house and you're supposed to have a business lunch, you don't know that. You show up, he's got this sprawling estate that looks like a castle. He's got these enormous grounds. He's probably got 50 people working just at his house. There's people greeting you. They're taking you into these rooms. He comes out in a $10,000 suit. He's got diamonds and Rolexes and everything's beautiful. And you're like, holy shit, it's Donald Trump.
His toupee is like $80,000.
What is he doing with his fucking hair? Why doesn't he go the way you and I did? You and I recognized it was over.
Because I don't think it was acceptable back then.
But it's acceptable.
Jordan had to make it acceptable. Jordan made it acceptable.
But he made it acceptable for black guys. For white guys,
but he transcended. No, Curly Neal of the Globetrotters made it acceptable for black guys. Then Jordan was just, you know, everyone wanted to be like Mike.
You and I were supposed to go see Bill Cosby in Vegas. We had made we were talking about doing it, but we both flaked, and we never wound up doing it. And that's one of my main regrets to this day. I would have liked to see him before the stink hit him.
I did. I saw it right before. God. I met him, and then 3 months later, I saw him.
Do you remember when he was doing shows still? Like, all those women were coming out, and he was still doing shows. Like, he was still doing shows. He was like, fuck it, I'm still doing them. And he went out, and he still did those shows for a little while.
I think he thought he was powerful enough to just sort of ignore it, and then it wasn't going to come around. But dude, I got to tell you, if you gave me 1,000 guesses, not 1,000, but if you gave me 200 guesses, his name would not be on that. Out of all the fucking people, like if you said, okay, there's a comic out there doing this shit.
Really?
You got your top 20 where you'd be like, oh yeah.
You know what?
Well, I never heard the rumors.
I did hear the rumors, and also there was a time.
Am I not in the clubhouse? How am I a comedian this long and I'm not fucking hearing the rumors?
I heard it from Hollywood people. I didn't hear it from comics. I heard it from people in the business. I heard it from like actors and from people that like work on TV show sets. I heard it during the news radio days. I had heard it. Yeah.
He was doing it at the show?
He was doing it forever.
Oh, 2 people that were on the show.
Two people. Allegedly. Who the fuck knows? But there's something, it was something unbelievable unbelievably creepy. But after the accusations came out, when he was still doing shows, he would go on stage with one eye looking to the left, one eye looking straight. Remember, he developed a dead eye somewhere along the line, right? So he'd go on stage with that weird eye.
They cut him some slack. He's like 90.
I know.
Damn it for the grace of God.
But he's dying, right? I mean, that's my point. Is like things are falling off the wheels, right? The wheels are falling off the ride. And he's got this shirt on, this sweater on that says, "Hello, friend." And he's on stage, and he walks out there, and everybody's clapping and cheering, and some guy's yelling out, "You're a rapist! You're a rapist!" And then, they grab the guy and shuffle him out, and then people going, "We love you, Bill!" And he just doesn't even acknowledge
He's
the
like,
guy.
just ignore them, just ignore them.
Yeah. It was something crazy about that. It was like the last sparks before they threw the water on the fire. It was like there was just a little hope, like,
Gas,
we got some embers.
Last spark before they threw the gas, you mean?
I mean, his career, his life, they threw water on him. Like, it's over. Like, no one's going to go see him live now, right? I mean, it's kind of over.
Doesn't water put out the sparks?
Yes, that's what I mean. They threw the water on him.
Wouldn't that mean they saved him?
He had a moment of, like, there was still some sparks in his career.
Okay.
The accusations came out, but he was still doing these shows, and people still came out and they're like, "We love you, Bill." He's got the
You got to
shirt
explain
on.
analogies to me.
It's a shitty
I'm
analogy.
not the brightest guy.
It wasn't a good analogy.